Imagine a stranger handed you a fortune, and then, without quite noticing, you started giving it away. A little here, a little there, to anyone who asked, until one day you looked down and it was nearly gone. That's not money, that's your time. And almost 2,000 years ago, a Roman named Seneca noticed we treated exactly that carelessly. Seneca was a philosopher in 1st century Rome, and he wrote a short, blunt letter with a title that sounds like a complaint, on the shortness of life. But his argument flips what you'd expect. Life, he says, isn't actually short. It is not that we have a short time to live, he wrote, but that we waste much of it. Given fully to the right things, a human life is long enough. More than enough. The problem was never the length. It's what we do with it. What fascinated him was a strange double standard. We guard our money and our property fiercely. Nobody hands their savings to any stranger who wanders by. Yet with our time, the one thing we can never earn back, we're astonishingly loose. We give away hours to people we don't like, tasks that don't matter, worries that lead nowhere. And we feel nothing, because time doesn't look like it's leaving. You can't watch the pile shrink, until suddenly, you can. Seneca saved his sharpest words for a habit that's only grown since: postponing life. Always living for later, the promotion, the weekend, the someday when things finally calm down and the real living begins. He watched people work themselves ragged for a retirement many never reached, arranging their whole lives around a future that stays permanently just out of reach. The greatest obstacle to living, he wrote, is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. The result is a quiet trick. You can be endlessly busy and still, at the very end, feel like you never quite lived. Now here's where it gets genuinely interesting, and a little uncomfortable. Seneca himself was fabulously wealthy, tangled deep in the politics of the Emperor Nero, hardly a hermit who'd renounced the world. Critics, then and now, have called him a hypocrite. But maybe that's the point. This doesn't read like advice from someone who'd mastered it. It reads like a warning from someone who could feel the time slipping through his own fingers, which might be exactly why it still lands. And it does still land. Modern research keeps circling back to the same place. Psychologists who study how we value time find that people who prize their time over money tend to report being happier, not less. The writer Oliver Burkeman put the arithmetic bluntly. A long life is only about 4,000 weeks, which sounds terrifyingly small. But that's Seneca's whole argument in reverse. It isn't that 4,000 weeks is too little. It's that we spend so much of it somewhere other than our own lives, half present, scrolling through someone else's, waiting for later. Seneca's fix wasn't to work less and drift more. It was to become fiercely protective of your attention, to spend time as deliberately as you'd spend the last of your money, to actually inhabit the day you're in, instead of quietly renting it out to distraction or to someday. So maybe the real question isn't how much time you have left, it's how much of it you're actually here for. So here's a small challenge. This week, catch 1 hour you'd normally give away without thinking, and keep it. Spend it wide awake, on something that's genuinely yours. Because maybe the point was never to find more time, only to be around for the time we already have. That's one big idea distilled. Stay curious, and come back for more.